but I just wanted to share something. Maybe I'm looking for some reassurance. I'm not sure. But this path of Ramana Maharshi came into my life a little over a year ago after some heavy experiences in my life of being addicted to drugs and in pain and chronic illness. And there was a lot of effort. It seemed like there was a lot of effort being made in the beginning with the Self Enquiry. And it did seem like there was a lot of progress being made, a lot of peace, a lot of oneness, a lot of desire fell away. The world seemed different. And then the end of last year, a few months ago, I ended up relapsing on heroin. And in a very short time, it got very serious. It seemed like there was no willpower to not do it. There was no willpower to do anything. And it's clear that there was an issue of surrender that needed to be looked at. The other part of this path being surrender. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I've been at with it lately. But since relapsing on the heroin, I had to go back on methadone because I had overdosed a few times. It got really heavy really fast, and I thought maybe that was the best option in order to preserve this body and this life. Maybe to take this short-term solution of methadone, which I had bid on previously for quite a while. And then the last year, I didn't have it at all, which was good because I was able to really do some serious self-inquiry work. But here I am now, a year and a half later after starting this path, and I find myself on methadone. And, I came into this path, like I said, after a lifetime of drug use and chronic illness. And I smoke weed for pain for the most part. And I just always have felt, weird about it. Am I doing, do I need to try to make an extra effort to get off these substances? Because I understand this is a path of, non-renunciation. And it doesn't seem like there's even any power in me to renunciate anything anymore. It doesn't seem like there's any power in me to make an effort to do self-inquiry or surrender. It just kind of happens all the time. And I've heard that the only way to chart your progress or to show any progress with this is persistence in the path and with self-inquiry. And that's definitely still been happening. So I guess I was just looking for some reassurance, with where I'm at with this whole thing. I don't know if you could share anything on that, but.
Look, I really appreciate that when someone thinks that I can't do anything, it can mean two things. Surrender is definitely a big thing, in which also we feel that I can't do and he will do it for me, and we just bow down. But then we also give up everything. Then we are not craving for anything. If we are not craving to know that or be liberated, we are also not craving for any substance or any enjoyment or anything, any bodily thing which is involving us at ego level for any sensory pleasures of any kind. I understand habits are like that. Habits, we call habits because it becomes a habit to do those things again and again. Whether they give us reward or punishment doesn't matter, but it becomes a habit. And to break habit, you have to be in that awareness, in that awakening. And in self-inquiry, if you see someone who is having a habit, are you that person who is having a habit? If you ask this question deep enough, it will take you to your own bliss, to that silence. And once you touch that, you become more awake. So in a way, this awakening can be a gradual process, but the one who is, let's say, addicted to a drug is not you. It is just a habit of the body, and the mind is saying it is something you need and I can't get rid of it and I don't have energy to get rid of it. This is all game of only thoughts at the ego level. It has nothing to do with liberation or opening as awareness. So we have to be very, very careful when we talk about surrender, because surrender can be thought from the mind level that I have surrendered and he will do it. And then what? Then I am just indulging in everything. And then I have surrendered to God. One day he will liberate me. It doesn't work like that. When we surrender all our intentions, desires, likes, dislikes, everything we surrender. So after surrender, what is left is nothing. No action of ourselves, no desire, no likes, no dislikes, nothing. And in that shunya, in that emptiness, the mind just merges in that purity of awareness. Because there is no doership. So we have to be very careful when we take the path of surrender. Then we can't say, now I will continue doing my habits, but I have surrendered that my ultimate liberation to that pure energy. We surrender everything. We don't keep anything of personal intention anymore. And then what happens is that energy takes over. It can happen, and it has happened in a lot of people who are suffering from severe pain, suffering from terminal illness, even addictions. Suddenly you realize, who is this? Who is into this? I am not this. And if you deeply ask this question, it takes you to the silence immediately. And moment you gain that profound bliss by this deep searching, the whole addiction and the journey ends very quickly. It can happen so quick, in a flash, because you don't want to be in addiction mode. You don't want to be coming into relapses and remissions. You want to be free. And suddenly when you get into this deep-seated energy, everything just disappears. And then who wants to come back? No, nothing. You just disappear in that awareness. Then who is Jeff? Who was taking? Who is relapsing? No. All is just an illusion. It is just eyes showing a vision of a body, form, a situation happening. In Sanskrit, they call different types of words as loka. And it comes from the word to look, you can say like that, which can be seen through eyes. Look, I think, comes from the same, maybe, loka. And all what we see is just an illusion of the mind showing us in this world, this everything. A body, a situation, some addiction, no addiction, whatever happening. This all is completely false. Who is doing? Ask this question, who is into it? And you will realize there is no one. You are not that. No one is not that. No one is the form. Silence is the only way to sort out this mystery. Not thoughts, not fighting, not arguing, not analyzing thoughts. They are useless. Answer comes in pure silence. Whatever path people take, but ultimately you reach that silence within your heart, where you realize that I am nothing. This body is on some auto mode. Things just happens, and it's the same all around. Practice, practice, practice. Perseverance and patience. Because this energy is with all of us. Be with this energy. In this energy, there is no I thought. There is no doership. Whenever the thought comes and asks you, I should do this, and then I have to do this, and then and this, you just stay as awareness, as a witness to all this happening, and you will realize that, yes, I am none of these thoughts. I am not the body. And these thoughts are not, I don't know who was owning these thoughts. They just come and go. And it brings so much of lightness in us because all this weight is of these thoughts, which makes us slave because we think these are my thoughts. I have to follow through. Maybe I need to obey them or get rid of them or something I should do with these thoughts. Because only I am listening to these thoughts. No one else is listening to these thoughts. You know, when a child is small, in child psychology they say that the child thinks that all thoughts coming to him, everyone is listening, everyone is having the same thought. He gets ashamed because he thinks if it's a bad thought, everyone is. But then he realizes soon, no, these thoughts are only to me. Nobody knows it. And here comes the birth of ego. That I am separate. That I have a personal life, private life. This personal life comes from personality, persona. Persona means mask, which divides us and creates suffering. In a way, it is our choice to be out of it. Not getting involved in any of these thoughts, whatever they tell us. Watching everything as you are watching cars standing on the side of a road. You're not interested what color, they're just passing through. You're just watching but not watching. Something like this. Same way thoughts coming, going, no ownership. What will happen? There's no receiving end to these thoughts, no ego. What will happen? They will disappear. Nothing will be left. So then what happens is, as any event happens, you look like interested in it, you might be involved in it. You might do the best whatever possible. As soon as the event finishes, you are back in that neutral, impartial awareness. No mental impressions because you are not paying any attention to thoughts, ownership of thoughts. So zero impressions coming to you. You are out of karma. Whether you have done really hard work in that situation to help others or whatever, you are not having any good or bad karma. You are just being aware of the body's doing. No doership. Happiness and bliss is because of no doership, not because of doing good work or bad work. Now you know the truth, that all what we see is just happening. And all what you see is your own creation in a way. It is coming through you only. All the people, all things, everything is coming through you. Rather coming through your mind, this body and others. And then you see that profound understanding develops, that awareness is what is behind all this show. I am that awareness. I am that pure intelligence. That pure intelligence is not hungry, does not need clothes, shelter, insurance, job, nothing. And it is the source of everything, yet uninvolved. All these images are coming, going, changing. You are that stillness in which everything is happening. You are not a person. If you are not a person, then personal habits are not your habits. They are just happening to something because of conditioning. Even this understanding will free you from everything. Don't slip back into the ego mode or a person. And I'll tell you, one has to not leave anything, addiction or anything or habits. They just go away. Because there is no seeking pleasure. Because this is that supreme bliss, pleasure, which is always there with you.